Guys, this is Naveen here. Welcome back to Naveen Automation Labs. So guys, today we are going to talk about what is AWS Lambda Functions, which is a serverless compute service provided by AWS. A lot of people were asking about, Naveen, give me the practical use case of Lambda, how exactly it works, can we integrate it with our API gateways, and there are certain other use cases also I'll try to cover in my upcoming videos. So today we are going to talk about this particular architecture. This diagram, I got it from the AWS documentation. So this is the API gateway that I'll create, and I'll be using the API gateway services, and then I'll be using one Lambda function that is a serverless compute service, and then I'll be using a DynamoDB, which is again NoSQL database, which will store the data in the basis of documents. That is again for highly scalable and performance point of view. If you really want to use, you can use a DynamoDB over there, and this is a very good combination that you can use it. And then we will try to hit the API from the client side. It could be Postman, it could be your mobile application or your web application or whatever. So first of all, we need to understand that what is a DynamoDB. So quickly, I'll just give you an overview because if you see this, DynamoDB is provided by Amazon. This is again a NoSQL, very flexible database, is a key value pair format documentation, which is store the value on the basis of key and value pair format. So it is very highly scalable, single digit milliseconds performance at any scale you can get it, fully managed, multi-region, multi-master durable database with inbuilt security, backup and restore, and in memory caching for internet scale application. DynamoDB can handle more than 10 trillion requests per day, can support peaks of more than 20 million requests per second. It's like crazy. And there are a lot of clients are available in the market. A lot of companies, they're already using it. For example, Lyft, Airbnb, Redfin, they're already using it. And enterprise application like Samsung, Toyota, Capital One, a lot of gaming companies also, they are using it. It's clearly written for mobile, web, gaming, and tech. For IoT devices, for sensor devices, you can simply use it. So this is like a perfect example with Lambda functions integration. We can use that. Now what I'm going to do that in my previous video, I've already talked about in this particular series. If you haven't seen it, please go and check Amazon Web Services by Naveen Automation Labs. 4 videos I've already talked about what do you mean by EC2 and how to create EC2 instances and how to execute your Selenium test cases using Docker containers and everything. You can do that. Now today we are going to talk about AWS Lambda function. So for that, what I'm going to do that I have to log in first. So this is AWS console login. Simple, enter your username and then click on next. And I'm going to enter my password over here. This is the console that we know that. Now first thing I'm going to do that, okay, I'm going to create one DynamoDB over here. So you can simply select one DynamoDB. You can select a service like DynamoDB. And this is a storage service provided by AWS. What you have to do, you have to create a table first. So let's create a table. Okay, so the diagram is that we have to create a table and we will post the data. We will persist the data in this particular database. It means we will insert the data in this particular database using our post API call. So I'm going to create one REST API over here, and then we will hit the REST API. The business logic, we will write it over here. A simple logic, we will write it over here, which will process the request, and then it will insert the data into the database and will send the response back to the API gateway. And we will manage one API gateway of AWS also. Okay, so let's create a table name. So let's take any table name. Let's say I want to maintain the data for any employee. Okay, let's say employee API I want to create. So I simply create one employee table over here. What will be the primary key? So primary key cannot be null. Primary key should be unique and it should be passed. I cannot do a blank primary key, although this is not a SQL database, but it maintains the partition key over here. So let's see, I'm writing, let's see, simple employee underscore ID is the primary key. And then let it all the default settings, don't change anything and click on create. Once the table got created, you can see that table is being created over here. So let's wait for a few seconds. And once the table got created, after that, we can see the table structure. So simple click on this particular employee table and then click on items. When you click on items, you see that, okay, this employee ID table column got created and the value we don't have. So we will insert the data like that. It does not maintain other columns. You can create of columns for different number of rows. That is the power of NoSQL database. You don't need to maintain any schema over here or predefined structured schema over here. This is schema-less database. Now, this is the first thing. Second thing is that I'll open this AWS in a new tab so that I can open my gateway. So now I have to create my API gateway. So I'll simple select for API gateway over here. I'll be using API gateway service. Okay, and then I'm going to create one API service over here. I'm going to create one API over here. So what I'm going to do, I simply click on create API button. You can see that product API is already created. So okay, in your case, you have to create a new API. So click on create API. Now, what kind of API you want to create? So let's say I want to create one REST API. Okay, not the private one, with the public one. I want to give this access to the entire world. I'm just going to create one public REST API. So it supports Lambda, HTTP, AWS services. Let's click on build, right? And then you have to give your API name over here. So you simply click on new API, this particular radio button, and give a API name. So let's see, my API name is employee API, whatever the name that you want to give. Description is that, let's see, API for employee, something like this. Endpoint, I'll create regional, so let it be like that. And then what I'm going to do, simple click on create API. When you click on create API and you simple select over here and click on action, and then you have to create a resource over here. So click on create resource, and let's see, my resource is employee is a resource. Okay, and after that, this is my resource path. After /, this is my path variable. Employee resource path variable will be created like that, and simple click on create resource. Okay, then you click on this, and then we have to add an action over here. Simple create method. What type of method, HTTP method you want to introduce? So we have to use post method because we have to insert a data, we have to create a data. So we will be using a post call over here, and then click on write check. And now you see that, okay, what kind of integration you want. So I want Lambda function, HTTP mocking AWS or VPC link. So I want Lambda function. So simply click on it. What kind of Lambda region you want to prefer? So you can select the region. Let's say I'm using simple AP South 1, whatever the region availability region that you can select over here. And then Lambda function name that you have to give. But right now we don't have any Lambda function. So now what we have to do, we have to create a Lambda function. So now what we have seen, we are creating one API gateway. DynamoDB table is created. Now we will create one Lambda function. Now how to create a Lambda function? Again, open in a new tab, and then I'm going to select for Lambda. So you just simple select this particular Lambda function service, and perfect. And then you have to click on create function. So I'm going to create a new function, author from the scratch, and let's write your function name. So let's see, I'll simple write a function name over here. Whatever the function name that you want to write, let's say I'm going to give some name, employee. This is my function name. And then what kind of language that you want to use. So let's say I want to use Python. You can use Java, you can use Node, you can use Ruby, you can use .NET also, you can do that. So let's say I'm going to use Python 3.6 or 3.7, whatever. So let it be, let's see, I'm using 3.6, or you can use 3.7 also. Okay, and then after that, it says that, okay, permission, you have to give a permission. So change default execution role, click on this, and then create a new role with basic Lambda permission. 3 options are available. So I'll tell you how to create a new role over here. Then you just let it be like this, and then simply click on create function. So when you click on create function, the function will be created. Let's wait for a few seconds. It's creating the function. You can see it over here. And then this is the add employee is a Lambda. So this is a logo of Lambda. And then you simple scroll down, and it will tell you one basic information that, okay, yeah, this is the a Python code. You can write it over here. So it will give you one editor. As I told you that Lambda is a function, is a kind of code that you have to write over here in the form of function, and the function name is, let's see, Lambda handler that we have written. And whatever the response that you are getting, the response will be given in this particular event dictionary, and from this particular dictionary you can fetch the results. So let's see what I'm going to do, that I simple write couple of things over here, right? So I'll simple say that return. Okay, instead of writing this particular return, this is the default return, you can let it be like this. And I'll do one thing, that instead of this particular return, status code is equal to 200, and I'll return a message over here. Let's see, a simple message, okay, that data is created successfully. Okay, so whenever this particular Lambda function will be called, then it will simply return this particular data is created successfully, right? So now after that, SUCCESS. Okay, then you have to save it. So how will you save it? Simply click on deploy. So you can see the deployment package successfully saved over here. After that, you go back to your API gateway, and then here you have to give that particular Lambda function. Okay, so right now you don't see that Lambda function. So what you do, you simply click on this post, click on employee, and click on post once again. And here you have to give that particular Lambda function name. So whatever the Lambda function name that we have created, this is add employee. We have to write it. Okay, let's see. Yeah, this is coming, add employee, and then simple click on save. And then simple, it's saying that you have to give the API gateway permission to invoke your Lambda function. Click on OK. Now here you can see that this is a complete architecture, complete design flow. It will tell you that whenever you are going to call this particular API from the client, so it is giving you the client, you can test it directly from here. This is the method request, and it will go to the Lambda function, and the Lambda function name is add employee over here. And then from the Lambda function, it will give you the response. So you can see the arrow over here, give you the integration response, the method response, and back to the client. So client will get the response over here. Now if you run, just click on test, and then here what we have to do, here we have to do a request over here, right? Now before that, what I'm going to do, that simple go to this particular, okay, and let's hit this particular API. Let's click on test. Can you see this? The response we are getting that 200, and the data is created successfully. It means whatever the Lambda function response that we have created over here, data is created successfully, the same response we are getting. But one thing you need to understand, that this Lambda function is, so right now it's not interacting with the DynamoDB. So what we have to do, we have to integrate between Lambda and DynamoDB. So we have to write a code in such a way so that we can make the connection with the database. I mean, we can fetch the value, we can persist the data into the database. So how will you do that? So right now this is simple. When you call this particular Lambda function from your APIs, you are getting the response. You can see the response over here. That response is 200 data is created successfully. Perfect. Okay, now I'm going to write the actual APIs. So I simply write that, okay, yeah, this is a Lambda handler. So there is a documentation, is called Boto3 documentation for integration with the Lambda function with. So I simply write Boto3 with DynamoDB. So you can refer this particular documentation provided by Amazon AWS. You go to this particular documentation, and then to insert the data, there are multiple options are available. You can describe a table, you can fetch the data, you can put the data. So what do you just need to do? You simply use put item, a query that you have to handle. Put item method is used to put the data. So here certain examples are available over here. So first thing, you just need to scroll down. I've already written some basic code. I'll show you that what you have to do. So you simply scroll up, and then you have to make the connection with the database first. Connection in terms of, you have to create the object of DynamoDB. So simple, let's see, I simply say quick start, and then what we have to do, we have to import Boto3 first. We are writing Python code over here. So instead of this import JSON, I'll write import Boto3. After that, I have to create by using this particular Boto3, what we have to do, there are certain methods are available. You can see that a simple Boto3 is available, and then you can get the resource. Okay, so let's see, using Boto3, and there are certain examples. 3.resource. So what is your resource name? You can simple do that. So I simple write Boto3 dot resources or resource, and you have to write that I want Dynamo. That's it. Okay, and DynamoDB, and this resource will give you, let's see, I'm storing in a particular object. Let's see, DynamoDB object is equal to this. Now by using this particular DynamoDB object, what I can do is I can get the table. What is the table that you have created? So what is the table name that we have created? So I'll go to my DynamoDB, and you remember that the table name I have created as employee table, right? So the same employee table I'll be giving over here, employee table. Now, once this is done, the table we got, we will store in a table object over here. Let's see, table is equal to this, right? Now, I'll take my own return. So let it be like this. What I'm going to do that, okay, I simple say that when this particular function is getting called, you simple return what? You simple return. You simple return what? You simple return as a status code. Let's see, status, whatever the status code that you want to return as 200, comma, and then I simple say that successfully. But before that, whatever the event means whatever the response in this particular dictionary object that you are getting it, we have to insert this particular event data to where? To the database. So how we do that? By using this particular table, we have one method dot, I'll show you in this. You simple check over here that put item, put underscore item, and here you have to put the item in the form of items like that. So it's very simple. If you are getting okay, a little complex over here, I'll make it easy for you. Table dot put item. So put underscore item method that you have to use. And what do you want to put? I simple write my item is equal to that particular event. So whatever the event that you are getting, the same. Okay, so this is the response from the API. The same data I want to put as an item to where? To this particular table. And once the data is inserted, return 200 status code and employee is created successfully to the client in the response back. So let me check DynamoDB Boto3.resource. Make sure that okay, you are writing the same string over here, DynamoDB over here, and DynamoDB.table, and what is the table name and the table object that we created, and table.put item, where you have to write item is equal to event, and then the return code 200, and the message is like that. Okay, whatever other attributes also, if you really want to return, you can return that as well. Okay, now let's deploy, let's save it. Okay, and then we will try to run it again from the API gateway. So I'll simple click on this post, and okay, so simple go to employee first, click on post, and then I'm going to test it once again. So let's run it. And then here we have to pass the proper request body now, right? So in the request body, guys, as we know that DynamoDB, when we created this employee ID is the table name. It's a primary, sorry, employee ID is the column name, which is a primary key over here. So we have to give the right, so we have to, as a payload, that is a request JSON payload. So that employee underscore ID is the compulsory attribute that we have to pass. So I simple write that employee ID is, let's see, 101, and then it's a NoSQL database. So I simple write, let's see, name is equal to Tom, and then I'm going to add, let's see, age is 25. Right, so this is a, let's see, request body, but this is mandatory to pass because this is a primary key, and rest of the other columns you can pass or not, that doesn't matter. These are not mandatory. So let's test it and let's see. So I'm going to run it and let's see what happens. So employee ID is also in a string, so we have to pass 101 in double quotes. Okay, so we are getting syntax error somewhere, lambda function somewhere we are getting a syntax error. So let's see, in line number 8, lambda function.py, we are getting a syntax error. So let's see what is the error over there. So line number 8, it's saying return. Okay, so I hope looks good. Okay, let me check the error once again. Syntax error in module lambda function. Okay, so let's save it and let's run it again. And then from the API gateway, I'm going to run it again. So let me just copy this request body and click on employee, click on post, and let's run it. Click on test, copy paste the request body, and then click on test. Okay, now that error is solved, but now it's saying that yes, X is a denied exception. It means we don't have any access on that particular DynamoDB table. Okay, so we have to give an access over here. So what we have to do, guys, that when you create this particular table over here, so you have to give a permission. And right now we don't have any permission. Okay, you can see that Lambda function policy, there is no policy, there are no permissions are defined over here. So what you just need to do that click on this permission and then click on edit and then scroll down and create a new role from AWS policy template. So just simple click on it and okay, simple go to IAM console and then I'll go to IAM console and we have to give a permission. Okay, so let's go to this and for Lambda I want to create a permission, so click on Lambda and I'll be click on next permission and then let's say I want to give some administrator access over here. So let's select this administrator access and click on next tags and then simple click on next review and then what is the role name that you want to give. So let's say I simple write Lambda admin role for employee, something like this, and then click on create role. So I have to create a role first, guys. So once the role is created, then I can select over here. Okay, so let's see, click on use an existing role created, or you can simply read that role that we have created. It should be displayed over here. So you can see that the role is displayed over here. You have to refresh it so that the role that we have created over there, it will be reflected over here, and then you click on save. Okay, so then it is saved, then we will run it again. So I'll just okay, click on test once again. And now we can see that absolutely working fine. We are getting a status code is 200, employee is created successfully. It means data should be created inside a DynamoDB. Now I'll go to my DynamoDB and I'll simply start search. Click on start search. You can see the data got created over here. 101 Tom 25. So likewise, guys, I can create different data. So let's hit this particular query with the different data. Let's see this time 102. Employee name is Peter and age is 35. But along with that, I want to add some more value. So let's see, I want to say the salary is $1,000 US, something like this, and click on test. So data will be created. You are getting the response over here, and then you simply go to your DynamoDB, refresh the data. You can see salary column only for this guy got created. So this is the benefit of NoSQL database. We don't need to maintain the data in the form of for all the columns will remain constant. We don't need to follow the asset compliances and everything over here. So you can see Peter got created 35 like that. If you really want to update something, so what you can do with the post call, let's see, with the same 102, age is 35 and salary is 2000 now. So let's see, run it again and then go to DynamoDB, refresh it. You can see 2000 got added over here or updated over here like that. So this is how we can see that this diagram API gateway also we have created, Lambda function that we have created with the permission, and the data is getting persisted into the DynamoDB. Now this is on AWS cloud. You can see everything is available on the AWS cloud. But how right now, and we're hitting the APIs using the AWS inside the AWS only. But what I want to deploy this particular API. I want to give this particular API to my customer or to the client, or okay, and then I want to use it for let's see, for mobile application or for web application or from the Postman also, right? So how to do that? How to make it available for public? How to deploy it? So what you have to do, you have to go to your API gateway and then select this particular employee and then click on actions and deploy the API. You click on deploy the API and let's see on which environment you want to deploy. So select new stage. Let's see, I want to deploy it on a dev environment. This is my dev environment or the QA environment. So let's see, I simple write deploy to copy like this. These are descriptions. So likewise, you can create multiple environments, dev environment, QA environment like that. And the URL will be changed accordingly and then click on deploy. When you click on deploy, you can see this is a deployment URL we got it. See with dev over here. It means this is a dev environment. And then you simple open this dev, click on post, and this will be the invoking URL. You will get it over here. And you simple save the changes, copy this particular guy, right click on it, go to copy. Now we will hit this particular API from any client. Let's see Postman. So I'll be opening my Postman over here, open that particular Postman, and then go to plus, and I'm going to paste this particular URL over here, and this is the post call. So let's select the post over here, and we have to pass the JSON body. So click on body raw and select the JSON object over here, and here we have to give the request body. So in the request body, again I'm going to write that what is the employee ID, employee underscore ID. Let's see, this time I'm going to create 201. And what is the employee name? So name, let's see, I want to create this time name is equal. Okay, then I want to create that. Okay, which city? Let's see, I'm writing city as Bangalore. Employee ID we have to pass in double quotes, because when we decided the employee ID that time it was a string. And then let's see, I'm simple writing in which country this particular employee. Country name is, let's see, India. Okay, but employee ID is the primary key. It is compulsory to pass. These are just the mandatory fields. If the column is already available, it will use the same column. If it is not there, then it will create a new column in the database. Now let's run it and let's see it is working from here or not, and are we getting the right response. So let's hit the API, and you can see that, okay, awesome, 200 employee is created successfully. And that's, we will go to our DynamoDB and we will check, refresh the data. You can simply see that, okay, yeah, name, see we have written a small name over here. That's why it's creating a new column over here, right? So I'll do one thing, let me write the capital name over here and then send it again, refresh it. Now you can see that, okay, the name column got deleted. Name is Naveen, age and salary that we are not passing, but we are passing city and country. And for other records, city and country doesn't matter, because the schema was different for these guys. So this is unstructured schema for NoSQL database in DynamoDB, right? So likewise, you can create the data. Tomorrow, if you want to delete the data, you can simply select respective values. Let's say I want to delete all these guys, go to actions and click on delete, and click on delete. Data got deleted, and you want to create it again, hit the API from here once again, refresh the data, data got created once again. Now I'll hit this particular API 201 once again, data is already available. And let's see it is creating a new row or not. No, because the primary key is already there, so you don't need to worry about while persisting the data that 201 a duplicate key will be created. No, DynamoDB will take care of it automatically. It will just update the same record over here. So likewise, guys, you can create number of gateways. You can create dev and the QA, and then like that you can simple do that. So you can create multiple stages over here. You can create another stage, let's see, for the QA environment. You can create that, and then okay, let's see, create over here. So likewise, you can create a QA environment over here. So this is for the QA URL. You just copy this and you can hit in the new tab over here. So you can see the difference. This is QA and this is my dev environment. Same way you can create for a stage and the production environment, and you can create your own APIs for your practice point of view. Also you can do that. So this is the power of Lambda functions integrated with DynamoDB, having with API gateway. So we are not giving the direct access to the Lambda functions. So client is not directly hitting the Lambda functions. Client is hitting the API gateway. Client is not hitting the Lambda, or client is not interacting with the DynamoDB directly. This is not the case. We are giving the request, okay, to the API gateway. API gateway is calling the serverless Lambda function, where the Python code is written over there, making the connection with the DynamoDB and persist the data over here, and then giving the response back to the API gateway that, yeah, response code is 200, data got created successfully, and given back to the client in the Postman or in mobile, whatever, that response code is 200, data got created successfully over there. Okay, now The one last case, if I'm passing, let's see, remove this particular drawing. If I'm passing, let's see, employee ID, I'm not passing over here, right? So let's delete this particular employee ID, delete that, and then I'm running it again. When you run it, it's saying that, okay, no, it's a validation exception that missing the employee ID in the item. This is the invalid request. So that's why we are getting that employee ID is missing, error message here, we are getting it, right? So employee ID is the primary key which is compulsory to pass. Okay, so that's all for this particular video. I hope you learned about Lambda functions. That is a serverless compute service provided by AWS. It's amazingly good. Later on, I'll try to create one more example uh, with respect to automation test cases. You can directly write one Python code, and then you can directly execute from the Lambda functions and just call the API integrated with Jenkins and run the API, which will hit the Lambda function, and then done. Same thing, you can store your test results in the DynamoDB also. So there are multiple hundreds of use cases, guys, are there. Now it's up to you how exactly you are using it. So thank you so much for watching this particular video. I hope you are liking it. If you like this particular video, please subscribe and click on the bell icon so that you will be notified for the next video. And I'll be coming soon with some interesting video on cloud like AWS and GCP as well. Thank you so much. Thanks for watching this video, guys.